Hey, welcome back to RTFB. A little busy today. I have to do this one in my car. What you gonna do? So today, there's been a lot of questions and whatnot, and I'm kind of bored with those questions. So thought I would just talk about something that was kind of interesting to me, and that would be today. I was like, green. Why do we go on green? Why do we stop on red? Yellow. That's just a middle child. No one cares about yellow. But green means go, of course. That's just universally accepted. And red is obviously means stop. I'm in a traffic jam right now. Nothing but red lights. Anyway, so green. There was a way back in Ford when he was developing, and actually kind of went before that. But he started turning out cars, in the tens of thousands, of hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many he did for sure, but there was a lot of cars. Ford was one of the first mass producers, and of course there became a lot of problems on the road. Red, green, they needed something like that system but it hadn't been discovered yet or learned, and so they had to do something to figure this out. So Ford, the powers to be there, they kind of had a little think tank group. Yep, they even did think tanks back then. But they had a think tank group, and there was at the time, there was it was Theodore Escapage. Mr. Escapage. I don't know, it's Swedish. But anyway, he was a scientist that was kind of a scientist. Back in those days, they kind of put everything together. Scientist, a theoretical guy, philosophical. I can't even talk. But anyway, he was a well-renowned, knowledge, learned person back in the day. So they got a hold of him in Stockholm, I think it was. But they presented him with the problem, and it just so happened that he had been doing a 3-year study on birds and the relations to the flock, of how they all kind of go in the same way, and how that incorporates with humans. And during that time, he was also experimenting with colors. And what he discovered was that and it kind of started going more into the human side. He totally forgot about the birds, and he found that humans, just when they see green, it just automatically go. They continue to move, and red is something that always makes you recoil and stop. You can think all through life. Red taillights. Red is like, red rum. Red is just kind of like, oh my God, I gotta stop. And this recording button, if I hit the red button, it's gonna stop. It's just your mind is conditioned that way, and I don't know why. That probably is another video. I'll have to research that one. I'm thinking it has something to do with the scarabs in ancient Egypt, but I'm not sure on that. Anyway, we'll come back to that. But anyway, so he found that the red makes you stop, and that green was just the opposite. It had a different wavelength, and it had a different calming effect on the human psyche. So next thing you know, Ford, you would believe he only paid $20,000 for that study. It was like 20 and change, but back in the day, that was a lot. But anyway, but yeah, so that's how they discovered. And so they would have one of the aides, what we would know today as interns. They would be standing on the side of the street with hand cards, green and red, and people stopped. I don't know if it was just look, what is this freak doing over here holding the sign with a red sign? I don't know why it was, but it just became common nature. And next thing you know, they started hanging those signs across the road, and there would be someone sitting up there in a basket, and he would count the number of cars going through. And once he got to, I think the number was like 37. Once he got through like 37 cars, he would flip it to the other color and do all the traffic. So anyway, that is why we have green and red, and it all is because of a Swedish knowledge learned professor, Mr. Mr. Escapage from Stockholm. Bob's your uncle.